Hi ADHD friends, ready to become gutsy cooks? Let's start now. Today we're going to make pasta Alfredo. You can use any shape of noodle that you'd like. I am using fettuccine, but this recipe is mainly for the Alfredo sauce, and then I'll show you how to put it together with the noodles so that they're coated really nicely. Gather your equipment, ingredients, and yourself. Here is the list of equipment and ingredients. I am going to read the list for our visually impaired friends. This is a good time for you to pause your screen to gather the equipment and ingredients, or you can forward to the next timestamp. Just so you know, I do sometimes give additional direction or tips or tricks when I read these. Start with a large pot with a lid for cooking the pasta, a colander, a box grater, little bowls, measuring spoons, a liquid measuring cup, a nonstick skillet, a whisk, and tongs. For the ingredients, 1 box of fettuccine or your favorite shaped noodle, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of shredded Parmesan, 8 tablespoons of salted butter, that is a traditional 1 stick of butter, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of whole milk or heavy whipping cream, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt. This recipe is a really big recipe. It makes a lot of Alfredo sauce. You can cut this recipe in half to make 4 servings rather than 8 servings. Get ready. Fill a large pot 2/3 full of water and add 1 teaspoon of salt. Cover it with the lid and put it on the stovetop, turning the heat to high. You want that water to come to a boil. Place the colander in the sink. Then you're going to shred 1 cup of Parmesan with the box grater. I won't edit this part so you can see exactly how long it takes to shred your own cheese. I'm going to keep beating this drum. An immediate improvement in your cooking will come if you start shredding your own cheese. Next, you'll measure your heavy whipping cream or whole milk, your flour, and your garlic salt. You may want to start with only measuring 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. You can always add more spice, but you can't take it out. Combine. When the water in the pot is boiling, add the pasta and set a timer based on the box's directions. Place the nonstick skillet on the stove and turn the stove to medium heat, which is 4 to 6. Heat. Slice the butter and add it to the nonstick skillet. Move the butter around gently in the skillet. It just helps it to melt quickly and prevents the butter from burning. Once the butter has melted, you're going to sprinkle the 1/4 cup of flour around the butter, just like that, and gently whisk it together, counting to 30. It's going to take that full count of 30 and maybe another count of 30 to fully incorporate the flour. Turn the heat down to medium-low, 2 to 3. Add the whipping cream and mix, counting to 30. Then add the shredded Parmesan and continue to whisk until the Parmesan has melted. This will take a few minutes, so keep whisking. Takes a few minutes to melt the cheese, so you may want to pause the video at this point while you do that. Once the cheese is melted, remove the pan from the heat and add the garlic salt. If you started with a 1/4 teaspoon, then now's the time to add to taste it, and then decide if you want an additional teaspoon of garlic salt. Finish and serve. Carefully pour the pasta into the colander and drain. And then you're going to put your pasta into a large bowl. Add the Alfredo sauce to the drained pasta and toss with tongs. It's going to take a little bit of work to get it fully combined. Serve the pasta in bowls or plates. and enjoy. You've made pasta Alfredo. Good for you. You got gutsy. Nice job. See, you can twist a little bit, make it all pretty. Clean up the dish so any of the slopped Alfredo sauce doesn't look very pretty there. Extra fancy. To make this dish extra fancy, I sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on top and a little bit of dried parsley. Gives it a little extra flavor, a little fresh flavor, because this pasta Alfredo is a pretty heavy dish. Careful. You'll note that we use low heat and a lot of whisking in this recipe. The reason is that dairy burns very easily. So please pay attention to lowering your heat if it seems to be getting too hot or bubbling too furiously, and constantly whisk when the directions say to. Cook pasta Alfredo for a large group or cut the recipe in half and have it for a romantic dinner. I hope you enjoy it. If you like this recipe, please subscribe. Thank you for your time and attention. Now go get gutsy.